Americans are struggling financially, and over half feel worse off than 4 years ago. Today, I read an article on FoxNews.com written by Dana Blanton titled, Fox News Poll, Over Half of Voters Say They Are Worse Off Compared to 2020. According to the author, only about 1 in 5 voters today answered yes. Just 22% say they are better off than 4 years ago, while more than twice that many, 52%, say they are worse off. 1/4 say their situation is the same. Here are my thoughts. These results seem pretty consistent with what I read. You have people at the top who own assets who have seen those rise in value, and they are better off than 4 years ago because they have financial resources and they can easily cope with the higher cost for just about everything in life. Then you have a large percentage of people who don't own stocks and don't own a home, and life for them has gotten more difficult. Their wages have not kept pace with inflation in many cases, and they are struggling to afford more expensive rent, more expensive car insurance, more expensive groceries, and childcare, along with more expensive medical care. These people are worse off compared to 2020. Getting back to the article, 73% of respondents rated the economy negatively. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so confused. How can nearly 3/4 of these people rate the economy as negative when we hear in the mainstream media that the economy is booming? Many stocks have set new highs this past year, and the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ have continued to climb. I hope you sense the sarcasm here. There is a disconnect between Wall Street and Main Street. The super wealthy are doing great. Their portfolios have grown tremendously. The problem is, someone turned the faucet off and the trickle-down effect has slowed to a drop or two. The plants are starting to wither and dry up. This is so evident to me when I read news article after news article about Americans who are struggling to afford rent, struggling to afford overpriced food at the grocery store, struggling to make the minimum payment on their credit cards, and struggling to afford to keep their cars on the road because of higher insurance premiums and because of the high cost of vehicle maintenance these days. What do you think about all this? Are you surprised by the high percentage of people who rated the economy as negative? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. I read another interesting article today. This one was on CNBC.com, written by Cameron McNair, titled, People Feel Financially Worse Off Than Their Parents, but Say Their Kids Will Be Better Off. The author of this article referenced Opportunity Insights research, which revealed just 50% of people born in 1980 have grown up to earn more than their parents, compared with 90% of people born in the 1940s. I found this to be very interesting. It does seem as though the silent generation is doing better today than even the baby boomer generation. People in the millennial generation and Generation X are struggling far more than some of their older counterparts. Some young people have a hard time getting their financial footing today. Think about it. Many graduate from college with a mountain of student loan debt. Some struggle to find a job in their field because they picked the wrong major. And then when they get a job, their employer may not provide a livable wage in some cases. This results in these people needing to live at home or take on multiple roommates to afford overpriced rent in many cities. Many still live paycheck to paycheck in order to afford housing, food, a car payment, car insurance, and medical care. A lot of people can't even begin to think about saving for retirement. That will have to be dealt with later in life. The problem is, people don't realize that life just tends to get more expensive, and your lifestyle and inflation often absorb any raises that you get each year from your employer. Poof, you are 5 or 10 years away from retirement age, and you wonder where all the years went. And now you are left with few options. This is the grim reality for many Americans. Getting back to the article, The author referenced the CNBC International Your Money Financial Security Survey conducted by SurveyMonkey, which revealed 42.8% of respondents said they are worse off than their parents, while 20.7% say they are faring about the same. Well, my friends, it is depressing to me that 42.8% of respondents say they are worse off than their parents. I'm not surprised by this, though. Some young people probably scratch their head and wonder how their parents, who didn't go to college, were able to afford a nice home and still fund retirement with one full-time job and no side hustles. These young people probably wonder why they are struggling to attain what their parents have, even though they are working more. Some probably feel like they are spinning their wheels. Understand, this isn't the case for everyone. There are people who graduate from college with the right major and they make the right connections and they are set up with a high-paying job and they are doing well. There are others who didn't go to college and pursued the trades and they own a small business which allows them to increase their prices and adjust with the economy. They are making a ton of money from people who don't know how to fix anything in their house anymore. There are always exceptions. Overall, I am not surprised that 42.8% of respondents said they are worse off than their parents. I don't think this trend is going to change. If I were to guess, I would tell you that this is probably going to get worse as time goes on. Some young people better hope they will inherit money from their parents or grandparents because making it on their own may be difficult. Some could continue living paycheck to paycheck unless they can find a way to live beneath their means and bring in more money so they can invest in assets that provide a financial return so they can make money while they sleep. It's like that famous Warren Buffett quote, "If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die." That is straight out of the mouth of one of the most famous investors of all time. Am I painting a realistic picture here? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Getting back to the article, the author lists some reasons why younger generations are worse off than their older counterparts. The first on the list is wage stagnation. When adjusted for inflation, wages in the U.S. have barely budged since the 1970s. As prices have trickled up with inflation, once strong salaries have lost a lot of their buying power. Well, my friends, I can believe this, and I am sure you can too. In my opinion, the situation has gotten worse ever since the economy went off the rails with all of the money printing which started back in 2008. Number 2 on the list is unattainable homeownership. The author referenced a recent study by Clever, which revealed U.S. home prices are 24 times higher in 2024 than they were in 1963. This is great news for real estate investors that have a portfolio of homes. This is not so great for a young person graduating from college who wants to buy a home and start a family. Number 3 on the list is high education costs and student debt. The author referenced bank rate data and said the high cost of attendance at a 4-year college has jumped 153% in the last 40 years. Here's something I didn't know. Generation X and millennials hold nearly 87% of the country's student debt, and Gen X alone holds 57%. You can begin to understand why some people feel worse off financially than their parents. Regarding this last one relating to the high cost of a 4-year college, this is a choice. Not everyone needs to go this route. Some people could start a business after high school. Others could pursue on-the-job training through an apprenticeship. There are multiple options, even though the go-to-college narrative is pushed heavily in many high schools. And that is a great option for some people. I'm not discouraging anyone from going to college. Many people have graduated from college and gone on to do amazing things. This all really depends on what you want to do and what type of lifestyle you want to have someday. I just think people need to complete a lot of due diligence and be strategic about what they plan to do after high school. They need to make sure they fully understand the job market and what it is going to be like after graduation. They need to understand how many jobs are projected to be available in the future, and they need to understand what these jobs pay. I'm sure some of you think this is common sense. I can tell you not many people do this. Some just pursue their passion and hope all works out. Then they find out that there isn't much demand in the labor market for their passion. Life can get pretty tough at that point unless you can stay on your parents' payroll. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.